A good Erev Shabbos. This week's Parsha, Parshas Behar. Parshas Behar teaches us about the halacha of not charging interest to a fellow Jew. The isser of interest, of charging interest, is so serious to the Torah that the Torah actually mentions it 5 different times, and this is one of the times that it mentions it. So it's an interesting. The whole concept is an interesting concept. If someone were to want to sell their house, they'd be entitled to make money on the house that they just sold, or anything that they would sell, they'd be entitled to make money. So why can't a person who's lending someone money also make money on that? The borrower would be happy to pay the interest to get the loan. Why is the Torah so insistent on this isser of charging interest? Not only that, we also know that you're not allowed to charge interest to a Jew, but for a guy, you would be allowed to charge interest to. At the same time, you're not allowed to steal from a guy. So it's clear that even though, of course, you're not allowed to steal from a guy, but you are allowed to charge interest, the halacha is telling us, the Torah is telling us that the guy is not losing out. We're not deceiving him in any way by charging interest. So why is this? Why is the Torah so emphatic about this isser? So the answer, it's very interesting. The answer to this question, I believe, lies within the words of the pasuk itself. The pasuk says, "V'chiyamuch achicha umata yadai imach v'chzakta bai gervasash v'chayimach al tikach oisay neshach v'tzarbis." If your brother would become despondent, then you can't take ribbis from him. Why are we using the lashon of achicha, your brother? I think this is exactly what the Torah is telling us. If, God forbid, your brother, your father, would come to you and say that they need a loan, something happened, it was chiyamach, they became despondent, something happened to them, and they'd need money, would you charge them interest? Would you charge your brother interest, your father? Would you charge them interest? Certainly not. You would definitely not. And that's the lesson that the Torah is trying to tell us. V'chiyamach, if something happens to someone in Klal Yisrael, achicha, treat him like your brother. Treat him like a brother. This is how we have to treat all of Klal Yisrael. You would certainly not charge interest to your brother or father, a relative, a close relative. You wouldn't do that. So don't do it to a fellow Jew who's in need also. This is what's expected. Klal Yisrael is a family. We're all family. Let's try to keep that in mind going forward, that when we see a Jew who's in need, who's in help of anything at all, let's try to think of that Jew. Even if they disagree with things that we do or think, he's still a Jew. He's still your brother. Let's try to keep that in mind always. Have a good Shabbos.